Hi everyone, and welcome to this edition of Nature News, where we highlight seasonal occurrences to help direct your natural discoveries. Snow and winter, they go hand in hand, and oftentimes the snow is the reason we don't make it outside in winter as often to enjoy our natural surroundings. Many of our bird species have flown south for the winter, a few species of mammal are hibernating, while most remain inactive during the coldest parts of the year. Butterflies and dragonflies have all but left us. It seems like a pretty quiet time to observe and enjoy wildlife in the woods. However, to the keen observer, there is plenty of life to be found even during the coldest months of the year. There's even life to be found on the snow. There are a few groups of winter insects one might expect to encounter during the snowy season, each with a handful of species that can be found. For example, there can be around a dozen or so species of winter midge emerging between the months of December and February. Just shy of 30 species of winter cranefly have been documented in North America, and over a dozen species of winter stonefly have been described. One of the first questions you might ask is, how are these insects able to be out in temperatures most insects simply cannot endure? Many species begin to produce large quantities of sugars in their cells, which lowers the freezing point of liquids. At the same time, some species of winter midge have been shown to allow freezing soil around them to draw out nearly every drop of water in their body. You can't freeze what isn't there. And lastly, some species produce antifreeze proteins, or AFPs. This prevents liquids in their body from freezing and expanding, which could damage vital cells. Arguably, the most common creature you might stumble upon in the snow is the mighty snow flea, measuring a whopping 1 to 2 millimeters in length. Don't be discouraged by its size or name, however, as snow fleas aren't really fleas. In fact, they aren't even considered insects anymore. They are their own class with several families and species represented. Collectively, many refer to them as the collembola. The snow flea is just one species, but is often the easiest to find, as its all-black, dark blue body stands out against the snow. They get the name flea because of their ability to spring away from danger, sometimes being referred to as springtails. Snow fleas can jump up to 100 times their body length by releasing a structure called the tenaculum, which in turn causes the furcula to snap down against the substrate and flip the organism some distance through the air. Quite a show to see. Winter midges and winter craneflies may also be present through the winter months. Typically, winter craneflies are found in the early to late stages of winter when it's above freezing. Winter midges seem to be a bit more hardy, but they too are often out during slight warm spells. While they may look very similar, close inspection will reveal the feathery antennae of the midge and the long legs of the cranefly. Adults of both species emerge in winter to reproduce, and adults are thought to have non-functional mouthparts, meaning they don't even bother to eat. Winter craneflies can be found away from the water, as many species have terrestrial larvae. Winter midges, however, have aquatic larvae and are found near water sources. If you're enjoying the company of a winter midge, it is probably worth looking for another winter insect, the winter stonefly. Also having aquatic larvae, winter stoneflies are never far from water. They can be most readily distinguished from the previous groups by their long circi, or what looks like two tails off of their abdomen. Circi are thought to function as sensory appendages. Again, adult stoneflies only emerge to reproduce and are often seen towards the end of winter when ice is retreating from their waterways. The last of our winter creatures might be the hardest to find. They are the snow scorpion flies. These intriguing insects produce antifreeze to survive the cold winters, and their long legs serve to keep them elevated above the snowpack. The elongated abdomen in the male somewhat resembles a scorpion's stinger, but they cannot sting, and the female also has a long pointed ovipositor, which she uses to lay her eggs. They cannot fly and only have vestigial wings, which have been modified to aid in reproduction. Both larvae and adults typically live and feed on mosses and will often disperse between breeding areas by walking across the open snow. So there you have it. There's plenty of life that can be found even during the coldest months of the year. Thanks for watching, everyone, and remember, every time you step foot outside, there are new discoveries to be made. Happy exploring.